In this video, I'm going to show you step-by-step how to start a website for affiliate marketing. Now, this is going to be a long video, and I'm going to try and add in timestamps to make it go a little bit faster. But included in this video is how to pick a domain name, how to set up your web hosting, how to set up your WordPress website, and different ideas for getting content. This is going to be a complete step-by-step guide to help you start making money with affiliate marketing and a website. For the best tips and tricks to learn affiliate marketing and internet entrepreneurship, be sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so that you're notified when I upload a brand new video. And if you want my #1 recommended way to start a full-time income online, click the first link in the description or go to alstongodbold.com/start. All right, so as I mentioned, we are going to go ahead and we are going to do everything that is required, at least the initial setup, to start a website for affiliate marketing. We need to think of an idea. We need to get a domain name. We need to buy web hosting. We need to set up your WordPress site initially, and then we actually need to start creating some content. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do, obviously, is to think of a niche or a topic or an area where you want to create content. Now, the largest niches out there are health, wealth, relationships, and technology. Those are also going to be the most competitive. For the purpose of this video, I want to promote web hosting in Bluehost. So the first thing that I recommend that you do is jump over to this website here. It's called instantdomainsearch.com and find a domain name. Now, a couple things that you want to be aware of when you're creating a website is you don't want to use trademark names. So I couldn't create a website like bluehostReviews.com. I wouldn't do that because you could be sued. You want to try and create a domain name that is relevant to a top level niche. So you don't want to just talk about maybe, again, Bluehost or web hosting. You want to try and find something that's a little bit of a step up, because if you're only creating content, or if your website's only about web hosting, you kind of limit yourself. So you want to think about some of the things that go into that technology. You could talk about VPNs, you could talk about web hosting, you could talk about WordPress and things like that. So keep that in mind when you are creating your domain name. And then you want to make sure that you are thinking about, are you going to keep this domain name forever, or are you potentially going to sell your website and make money? So with that in mind, we need to start thinking. Maybe the great thing with this is we can type in, let's say, web hosting, and you can see that it's taken. You can see who owns it, and some of these you can actually try and buy. For example, let's say if we contact broker, you might be able to buy it, but it's pretty expensive, especially if you're just getting started. What we could do is we could try web hosting for beginners. As you can see, because I have faux and not for, I could potentially buy that domain name. If I type in for here, that's probably taking. We'll say what we could do is we could do web hosting world. That is taken as well. We'll say learn web hosting world. It looks like that is available. We could potentially go and buy that. What I recommend that you do is you stick to .com. Anything other than .com is going to reduce your credibility. Another thing that I would stay away from is using your country's postfix. For example, I wouldn't use .uk. I wouldn't use .net or .gov because if people see .uk, they're going to think that the website is only relevant to people in the United Kingdom, and you are really reducing your target audience when it comes to trying to get in front of targeted consumers. So what I would want to do, let's say we want to go with learnwebhostingworld.com. That works for us. What we can do is we can buy the domain here. This would actually take us over to GoDaddy. So what I'm actually going to use is Bluehost. You can click the link in the description for Bluehost. It is an affiliate link. So I'm just going to jump over to bluehost.com, and then I'm going to click on Get Started. As you can see, you can start with Bluehost for as little as $3.95 per month. I'm going to click Get Started. Within web hosting, there are different levels. There's shared hosting, which means your website is going to be on a website with many other people. There's dedicated, there's VPS. If you're brand new, I recommend that you find a shared hosting platform because you want to make sure that you are consistent and persistent with your website. So for the purpose of this video, what we are looking at is we can do, let's say 12 months, and it's $5.95 per month. Included with this $5.95 is one website, 50 gigabytes of SSD storage, custom themes, 24/7 support, and it also includes one free domain for 1 year, free CDN included, and free SSL certificate, all things that you need. As you gain more experience and you want to create more websites, you can actually upgrade to these other ones that offer unlimited websites and unlimited storage. So for the purposes of this, we can actually buy let's buy this first one here. When you buy it, click select, and then we can create a new domain. So we're going to go over and we're going to use this one right here that we found, copy that, and we are going to paste this in and click next. Next, you want to enter in your basic information. I'll go ahead and enter this in, and then I'll come right back to you. So one thing that I did want to point out is I recommend, if you are creating a website, I recommend that you set up this domain and privacy protection. If you don't have it set up, you are going to get people contacting you and trying to scam and spam you. One thing that will happen if you don't set up this privacy protection is you'll get a letter in the mail where people are trying to quote unquote renew your domain for $50. You also have other people calling you, trying to buy your domain at a relatively low price. But if you set up this domain privacy protection, when people go to look you up, it's going to actually reference the web hosting provider. Let me just show you an example of that. So if we go to, let's say, web hosting, and we click on who is here, usually this information will be the name of the web hosting provider. As you can see, webhosting.com is the domain name. And as you can see, you don't actually see anybody's, surprising here that this person, CSC Corporate Domains Inc. If we scroll down here, but for the most part, let me show you a different one, a better one here. All right, so I'm looking at alstongodbolt.com. The registrar is TLDR registrarsolutions.com. My contact information isn't anywhere, so you have no idea who actually owns this domain, and it makes it difficult to reach out and contact me. But alstongodbolt.com is my domain. All right, so we jump back over here. I am going to let's claim these savings. I'm going to click on this and finish the sign up process. All right, so we are back. I have finally made it past the stage here, and I'm just going to go through and create my account. So I click on create account. The good thing with a lot of these web hosting platforms is they do a lot of this information for you in the background. So I'm just going to select a strong password, go ahead and click that. Your account is in the process of being created. Please wait a few minutes. So again, we're going to wait. It'll be just a few minutes before this is set up, and then we're going to show you how to actually create a WordPress website. Actually, you know what? While we're waiting, let's go ahead and jump over to a website called Themeforest. You can use a website like Themeforest to find WordPress themes. So the way all of this is set up is you buy your domain name and web hosting. Then you can buy a content management system or software like WordPress. That WordPress theme will sit on top of your domain name. So when people go to your website, they're going to see the WordPress theme. Now you can use free themes or you can buy custom themes. I like using a website like Themeforest to find custom themes. You can buy a theme for anywhere between like $29 and $99. The themes basically change the way your website looks and feels. In addition to themes, you can buy different plugins. Now, plugins offer additional features to your WordPress site. For example, you can buy or use free plugins to collect email addresses, to show timers. There are tons of different themes and plugins that you can use. Let's jump back over to Bluehost to see if we're ready. All right, so we're still waiting here. What you can do is you can just type in really anything. You can type in blog and go down to WordPress, and it's going to return a bunch of different themes. So we could use this one for $49. Let's blog WordPress theme. And there are themes for everything. We could type in plumbing theme, plumber, hit enter. There are tons of themes just for plumbers. There is a category or a theme for everything. All right, it looks like my account is finally ready to go. We're just going to go ahead and log in, and I'm going to show you the back office of Bluehost. We finally were able to log in. I'm just going to click on skip these steps here, because we are okay with this. We're going to say web hosting. And again, this doesn't matter because we can always change this information later. And we are going to say what happened here. We'll just say education. We're creating for myself. Click continue. We can change all of this later, but this is just going to go right into our web hosting site. So we're just going to click on continue here. And then it gives us a number of themes to get started with. So we're just going to pick this one down here at the, We'll just pick this one to get going. So we're going to click on use this theme, and it's really going to take care of all of that for us. So it's going to go in the background and install WordPress. We can go in if we wanted to. We could purchase a premium theme and install a little bit later. I'll actually show you how to do that, and so that we can get it up and running. So we don't want to set up domain privacy. You should, if you're setting this up for yourself. I'm sure I don't want domain privacy. And then this is the back office of WordPress. There's a number of things that you can do. We can go down to My Sites. This is the site that we just created. We would just click on this to manage the site. We can take a look at the marketplace and buy additional products and services like themes. As you can see, they have SiteLock, WordPress, Workspace, Jetpack, a number of things that you could purchase in the workspace, the marketplace, but we're not going to do it. Email, you can actually set up your custom email back here, which is pretty cool. You don't have to use the Google Suite, but you could if you wanted to. So let's say we click on See Options, and we can either do Microsoft or we can use Google to set up our domains. This is actually different because before I could just set it up without having to do that. So if we go down to domains, you can add by new domains. So you can see purchase domain. You can manage this domain. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn renewal off because I don't want to renew this domain. So we're going to turn that off, so that when it expires on March 27th of 2022, that's it. Also, if you want to transfer your domain, so if you want to transfer it to a different web hosting company, you can do that. Usually it's locked for 30 days after you make an initial transfer. Verify information, you don't have to do that. Contact is your contact information. Again, this would potentially be different if you signed up for SiteLock. Security, it talks about how secure the domain is. DNS is important if you're using something like ClickFunnels and you need to do maybe URL redirections, or if you want to change the CNAME. There are tons of tutorials out there that show you how to set up redirection, which is very important. Another thing that you might want to consider are name servers. You can also change your name servers. That's outside the scope of this video, but that could be important for you too. Marketing tools, again, stuff that you don't absolutely need to have. You can purchase it if you wanted to, but you don't need to have it. If we go down to advanced, here's some things that you can do more at the lower level. So if you have the technical ability, skill, and know-how, you can do that. One of the things that you could do is you could go to email accounts, and you should be able to set up an email address on your domain. This is what I was referring to earlier. So what we could do is we could click on create, and let's say we wanted to create Alston at learnwebhosting.com. I can create it. We can generate a password here, as you can see, and then when I click create, I have my own custom domain name, and I didn't have to pay anything through Google or pay anything through like Microsoft. We click on create, we have our own email address. So what we can do is if I go in here, I can check mail. I can send and receive mail as normal. Just click on open, and then there you go. We have our own email account. Now this is what's called, if we go into the advanced setting, this is what's called maybe the CNAME, if you've ever heard that before. Again, you can really make and break your website if you don't know what you're doing back here. So if you wanted to, you can import files directly to your website through the file manager. You can modify your images, FTP accounts. There's just a lot that you can do. If you don't have the technical skill or ability, I recommend that you leave all of this alone. If we continue down, a lot of stuff that you can get into and really break if you don't know what you're doing. But what we're going to do is we're going to go up to My Sites, and we are just going to customize and modify our WordPress website. While that's working in the background, let's go ahead and talk about finding keywords and keyword phrases to start using. Now, one of the most important things when you're starting a website from scratch is finding credible keywords and keyword phrases so that you can start writing. And the easiest way to get going, maybe not the best way, is to go over to a website called answerthepublic.com. With answerthepublic.com, you can simply type in your keyword or keyword phrase, and you can find potential ideas to write about. For example, if we type in Bluehost, there, we click search, it's going to return a ton of results. Now, what I recommend you use Answer the Public for as a starter. Use these to find keyword ideas and then do your own research based off of these keyword ideas to see if you can write on them. For example, here we have, can Bluehost host Squarespace? That could be something that you write about. So we could just copy this here, and then we jump back over to Google, paste that in, and we can see if people are actually searching this. So as you can see, this might be kind of competitive when you're looking at comparing it to other sites. So if we scroll down here, we just want to look and see how difficult it could be to compete. So I want to do keyword counter here, 3,000 words. That's going to be pretty tough to compete. What I recommend that you do is you go through and you find different keywords, find different phrases, put them into Google and see what comes out. If people are writing 4,000 word articles, it's going to be pretty tough to beat and compete if you are a brand new website and you don't have any authority whatsoever. What you can do to find other ideas is once you type in this phrase here, you can go down to people also ask. That means that people are asking these exact same questions and Google may not have a better answer. So if we click on this, it's going to give us a potential keyword, and then it also gives us more keywords to potentially create content on. So if we wanted to, we could click, does Bluehost work with Squarespace? As you can see, there is more information there that we could potentially create content on. And then we could click this again. What is the difference between Bluehost and Squarespace? That's a question people are asking where you could potentially get in front of leads and sales. So as you can see, this top result, startblogging.online.com, has made a good comparison here, it looks like. So if we scroll down, actually this would probably be an opportunity. If we click word counter, it's 2,000 words. So you could potentially create content. I mean, it doesn't look great, but there probably is opportunity there. So use a website like Answer the Public, type in your keyword or keyword phrase for inspiration. The other cool thing with Answer the Public is if you scroll down here, there are even more information. Bluehost for nonprofits. If we click this, we copy this here, and we paste this right into Google, paste that there, and then it says 8 best web hosts for nonprofits. You could actually spin it a different way. You could say how to use Bluehost as a nonprofit, or best way to use Bluehost for nonprofits. That could be a better opportunity. It would be more in line with the question that people are asking. And then down here, how much does it cost to host Bluehost? Which is a weirdly worded question. And you can see people are solving that problem and answering that question, but you can do this with anything. So now our website should be up and running. What we're going to do is we're going to click on Manage Site. And what we can do is we can log into WordPress. This is all stuff that they're going to try and get you to buy more stuff. You can click on Marketing Center. Again, they want you to buy more stuff. Users. This is just you, of course. You can create more users from here. You can change the password and all that stuff. Backups. I recommend that you do back up your website frequently, because if you've ever dealt with websites, either it breaks or someone hacks into it. Now, there are different plugins that you can use to reduce the chances of someone hacking into it, but something always goes wrong with the internet, and it's very possible that your website could be hacked too. So you want to make sure that you're setting up a backup. So this is all stuff that you don't really need to worry about right now. This talks about security. SSL certificate is important because it's a ranking factor with Google. And if you want to eventually sell products on your website, you need to have SSL. This green lock up here, or black lock, shows that it's SSL, and sites that aren't. Plugins, these are what I referenced to a little bit earlier. These will enhance the different features of your website. You can turn all of these off from here, or you can go into the actual website and turn them off there. Click on settings, and then we can, again, configure it even more. So what we want to do is actually log into WordPress, log into the back office, and start creating content. All right, so now we are here. We are at the back office of our WordPress website. If we went and looked at our site, it would say coming soon. So right now, it should say coming soon. The reason why it doesn't is because it sees that we're logged in. If I copied this website here, I'll go back. All right, so what we'd want to do is we'd want to make it active, and we would just click on the coming soon, and we would turn it off. So we could say launch your site, and that would make it alive to the world. So if we click on this now, if we open this up now, it should no longer say coming soon, but it should say hello world. This is what our website would look like if you navigated to it from off the street. You knew nothing, you just typed in our website and there you go. So there are some things that we want to go ahead and take care of right away so that we can change the way this website looks and feels. First thing we can do is go down to themes, and then we can go back to Themeforest, buy a theme, and import it here. As you can see, there are a number of themes that they include for various price points. You can use them, you don't have to. What we could do is let's go ahead and grab a theme called GeneratePress. All right, so GeneratePress has a free and premium version. I'm going to install the free one. Basically, the way this works is we're going to download it, and then I'm going to show you how to import it right into your WordPress website. What we need to do is jump back over to our website here, and right now, as you can see, it looks like this. If we go down to themes, go down to appearance, go to themes, and then we want to click on upload because we're going to add a new theme here. Upload theme, and then we can drag and drop the theme we just imported. Now it has to be a zip file. Where is it? There we go. So it has to be a zip file. So we're going to go over to downloads. We're going to drag and drop this right over like that. And then we're going to click on install. This will take a few minutes to install, but it will change the way that it looks. So if we go to live preview, this is what it potentially could look like. See, it looks just a little bit different already. What we can do is if we go back, we go to activate and publish, it'll be live. It'll be our real deal. This is what our website will look like. We close this. One thing that we can do is we can go to theme details, and then we can actually install different things within this theme. So it says auto updates enabled on the Bluehost settings page. We can go to customize here if we wanted to. And then this is where we make the theme our own. We can change the look and the feel. If you remember, we changed that site identity. We can actually change that back to something else. And the site identity over here corresponds with this site identity up here. So if I type in Alston's World here, lack of creativity, Alston's World, it will change that up here as well. So if I just copy, I spelled world wrong, but that's fine for what we're doing, and I click on publish, that'll change this up here as well. As you can see, Alston's World is now different. We can go back here, and then what you'd want to do is just go through each section and change it how you see fit. We can change the size of the container here. We can do one. I mean, the cool thing with WordPress is it gives you a lot of flexibility and options, even if you've never designed a website before. Primary navigation, right here, we could actually create our menu or our heading here. So right now it's on the float right side. We could change that to below the header if we wanted to. Again, it gives us a ton of options. You see it shows up right here to make customizations and changes. I am not going to go through and show you every one because that will take forever, but this is the footer all the way down here. Right here is the footer. We could change this to, let's say, contained, and as you can see again, it made that adjustment. If we click publish, this is what our website would look like. So I'm just going to go back out here. We can change our blog. We can do that, but for right now, you're not going to see a major change there because we don't really have anything for our blog. The cool thing again with WordPress is it lets you visualize the changes before you actually hit publish. And so if you don't like the way that it looks, you can just exit out and nothing will change. So we're just going to close that for now. So that'll just take a second. We can go back over to widgets. And this is going to be a little bit different for each theme. So what I'm showing you now is for GeneratePress, but it could be a little bit different for other things. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm adding widgets. Now, on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side here, you see that there are available widgets. If we find one that we like, for example, let's close that. Let's find a widget here. We could potentially like drag and drop these widgets over here if we wanted to. So we'll add the widget to the left sidebar. We can move that up to the right sidebar, and I'll show you what that looks like. once we're done here. So as you can see, there are a ton of options when it comes to building a WordPress website. So we can do that for, let's put this on the header. And we click add widget, and then we can give it a title. We'll say, what is this called? We'll call this a form. And then we'll say we don't have any forms set up, so that's going to look a little weird. We'll click save for now, just to show you what all of this looks like in just a moment. Let's see if we can find one that will actually show us what. Let's go back up to image here. We'll click add an image. I'm gonna go grab an image off of my, all right, so we'll just use this image. This image might be a little large for what we're doing, but that's okay. We're gonna click add to widget. We're going to click save so you can get an idea of what this looks like. All right, so let's start at the very top here. Let's go posts. Now, posts are blog posts. And if you're writing content for, let's say you're writing content, one of these questions that you found, let's say you're writing how to start Bluehost for dummies, you're going to want to write a blog post to answer that question. Now, WordPress, by its nature, was designed to be optimized for bloggers. So that's why a lot of people use it. That's why 25 to 35% of the entire internet are WordPress websites. And so what you'd want to do is you'd want to come down here and click add new up here. And then you'd want to create a blog, a website, a blog post about WordPress for dummies. So your title would be Bluehost for dummies. Bluehost for dummies, the complete tutorial. Ooh, got to spell the words right. All right, and then what you'd want to do here is you just want to go through and you'd want to answer the questions. What I like to do when I'm writing blog posts are simply who, what, when, where, why, how. Who is Bluehost? Who needs Bluehost? Why would someone want Bluehost? Bluehost versus other options that are out there. And so what you'd want to do you'd want to write like an introductory paragraph or sentence that talks about what's going to come up in the blog post. And then once you complete that, you might want to have a header. We could say, why Bluehost? Put a question mark there, and then we can change this to a header. And to do that, we'd click on this, and this is using Gutenberg. A lot of people don't like Gutenberg, but that's okay. This one right here is an H1 tag. This is the header tag. You only want to use this for the title of your article. This is a H2 tag. This is the second largest. It goes all the way down to like H6, but by then it's basically the size of a regular paragraph. Now, when you hit enter here, you can see you can add different things: paragraph, heading, inline, popular posts, WP forms, opt-in monster. There's a ton of things that you can add, and you can add things like YouTube video. So if you have a YouTube video that talks about Bluehost for dummies, you can add that in. As you can see, you could embed a YouTube video very easy. In fact, let me grab a YouTube video to show you how easy it would be to embed a YouTube video. All right, so now that I have one, I'm just going to paste that in here, click embed, and then as you can see, it embeds it as a YouTube video. This is one I just uploaded today. Go check it out if you haven't done so already. All right, so now that we have an idea of how to create a blog post, as you can see, there are more options that you can take advantage of, social widgets if you wanted to, and so on. What we're going to do is we're going to exit out of here, leave that, and move on to the next thing. The next thing are media. And so what you can do is you can add media directly to your site. Now, you want to be careful when it comes to adding media because you want to make sure that you are adding the right size. Size is very important when it comes to your website because the larger the file, for example, the larger the image, the slower your site is going to be eventually. And even more so because you are sharing this internet space, this hard drive space, essentially with other people from around the world. What I recommend that you do is you always compress your size and resize it so that it is as small or as light as possible, and then upload it that way. One recommendation too is that you host your videos somewhere else like YouTube or Venmo or some of those other video sharing sites, and then have a link to it so that it's not consuming more size on your website. Another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you are not using PNG files because those are larger. Use JPEG files. Also, you can find different plugins that are going to help compress your file sizes so that they are as small as possible, so that when you upload something, it doesn't make your site slower. The larger the files, the more stuff you have on your website, the slower it's going to act. Next are pages. Now, pages are different than blog posts. Pages are basically regular, like a home page, a privacy policy. They're not really for SEO. You can have multiple blog posts in a page, but you can only have one page at a time. You can't travel to multiple pages. It can be a little confusing, but if you're writing blog posts for SEO, search engine optimization, you want blog posts and not pages. After that are comments, so people from around the world are going to try and can comment on your content. What I recommend, though, is be careful with the comments, because people can use them to spam their affiliate links. They can also try and harvest information as well. So be aware if you are going to have comments on your site. Next is a plugin that you don't have to have. It's designed to help you get more leads and sales. It looks like this is opt-ins for email marketing. You can create a free account if you want. There are tons of plugins out there. Don't feel like you have to use these. Creative mail, so you can accept mail here. WP forms. There are tons. I recommend that you spend time looking at widgets that you need. You don't want a ton of widgets or a ton of plugins on your site, because the more plugins you have, the slower your site's going to perform and behave. And the slower your website performs and behaves, the lower the ranking you're going to receive on Google. People are going to get frustrated. If they can't access the site instantly, they're going to click off, and you're going to lose on a potential lead and sale. If we go down to appearance, there's a ton of information or a ton of options within it. As you saw, we actually uploaded a theme here, Generate Press. You can also customize if you want to change like color, you want to change the look and feel. There's a ton of ways to do that. We've actually spent some time, as you can see, that image over on the right-hand side. Actually, let's go here. I'm going to click on refresh, and our image should show up right here. As you can see, this is our image, and then this is where our menu would be in the event we were actually launching the site for real. If we go back over here, let's get out of this, and then under widgets, we actually just looked at menus. This is where you can create your menu. This is where our menu is right now. If we wanted to, we can add some stuff to the menu. Let's go ahead and do that. If we let's go to custom links, and I'm just going to go to https://espn.com, and then I'm going to say ESPN, click add to menu, and I'm going to show you what this looks like a few different ways. So we're going to create menu. If I go over here, once this is done loading, and I click refresh, our menu should now have a new entrant. Where are you, Mr. Menu? Where is it? Let's see. Let's put this, we need to set it at primary menu, click save. And then if I go back up here, and I click refresh again, there we go. Home, sample page, ESPN. When I click on that, it takes me over to ESPN. So that's one way to do your menu. Another thing that you could do, if we jump back over to menu, I could actually make this indented a little bit. When I click save, and I click refresh, where are you here? We'll click on open new link and tab. Click on this, and as you can see, now I have a drop down with ESPN. Now, one thing that you want to be cognizant of is you don't want to have more than 2 levels, 2 or 3 levels. Each one of these indentations is a level. And if you have more than 2 levels, you might as well make a brand new menu column. For example, let's say, again, you have a sample page, you have ESPN, and then you have under ESPN, you have like college basketball, and then under college basketball, you have women's and men's. You might as well make a separate tab here for college basketball, and then do women's and men's. So consider that when you are creating it. Down here, premium themes that they want you to buy. We looked at this before. If we go back under appearance and then we go under our actual theme, this may give us the ability to change more information. So we can change the background if we wanted to. This is all premium stuff, so we don't have as much ability to make any changes. But as you can see, there are some options that you can take advantage of. We could go to, let's go to layout options. We went to site library. This will give us the ability to add even more customization. So we could actually change the way, for example, if we wanted our website to look like this, we could import or pay for the premium portion of this website to make it look a little bit better. But we're not going to do that. The next one is the theme editor. Now, I recommend if you don't have any, if you don't have any background in HTML or CSS or coding, don't even go in here, because this will be a great way to tear up your site. This will edit your theme at the coding level. On the right hand side, a bunch of stuff that you shouldn't touch. In the middle here, a bunch of stuff that you should not touch, and then you should just move on to the next thing. All right, so plugins, as I mentioned before, they will actually change the customization. They'll add additional features to your WordPress website. And what you can do, these are all the plugins that are already installed. What you can do is you can click on deactivate. That'll turn off plugins. As I mentioned before, you don't want a ton of plugins on your site because it's just going to slow down your site. I would deactivate this Bluehost plugin. I'd really deactivate all of these because they were installed for you and you don't even know that you need them. What you can do is you can go up to add new here and you can go search different plugins. For example, let's say we wanted to add the classic editor. Some people prefer the classic editor. You can add that if you wanted to. What we could do is, let's say we want to get response. We wanted a landing page builder. Just type in get response and then you can automatically install this. So we'll do get response for WordPress, install that, and then boom, it installs right into your computer. You want to activate it. And then once you click on activate, that'll give you the ability to add additional features and themes and customization. So if we scroll down here, I just added get response. Where are you, Mr. Get Response? All right, so we go under settings and then we can make changes. Within the settings, we need to add our API key, of course, but we don't need to do that right now. So we talked about plugins. You can add and remove users. What I recommend, and this is a trick I learned from somebody else, is this is your top level administrative account. If someone hacks into this, they have complete control of your computer. What I recommend that you do is you add a new user. And when you add that new user, you can give them a different level of like editor so that they have the ability to make changes to your website. Use this to add blog posts and make changes so that in the event someone hacks into this, they can't take over your complete computer, your complete WordPress website. So what you'd want to do is give it a name, a pen name, email address, and then all of that good stuff. You can generate a strong password, but use this to upload blog posts so that nothing happens to it. But you can always delete this a little bit later and then move on to the next thing. Let's talk about some of the tools that are available. So the tools that are available can change. For example, you can have like a URL redirect. You can add tools, remove tools. It really all depends. So if you wanted to, you can import content from somewhere else right in here. So if you had like information on these different places, Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress.com, if you had a website there, you can import it. If you wanted to, you could send the information out. A number of pieces of information, you can go down to site health and it'll give you a report on how your website is doing. It'll give you a brief overview. It'll give you a heads up, good, bad, or indifferent. If we continue on here, export personal data, we can do that, of course, as well. Settings is going to be pretty important, so let's take a look at that. So we're going to click on General Settings, and within General Settings, you can change again the site name, the site tagline. The WordPress URL should be eventually your actual WordPress website. Ours is learnwebhostingworld.com. It should be there eventually. The email address, membership, I leave this unchecked. When people do subscribe or join your website, make sure that they're at the lowest level so that they don't have a chance of tearing up your website. Change your time zone to your time zone. Change this how you see fit. Change this how you see fit. All of this is how you see fit. Leave the caching at normal too. Underneath that, writing, there's some information in there that you might want to change. You can change the default post, the default post category. Let's see, if we wanted to leave all of this as is, and then click save. So the only thing that you could change in here that I recommend you look at changing is the default post category. And so when you upload a brand new blog post, they come in different categories. So let's say one category is web hosting, the next one is VPN, the next one after that would be like WordPress themes. I would have 3 separate categories so people can easily find that type of information. If we go down to reading, let's take a look at some of the things that you can change in there as well. All right, so important. Your homepage displays. If you are doing this for blogging, you want to make sure that your most recent blog post shows at the top. If you are, let's say, doing a brand, you can show that a static page shows up, and you can set this to your homepage or sample page. Let me just show you what this show you what this looks like. We'll click on sample page. We'll click on save changes, and then when people go to my website, you should see something different. So I'm just going to open this in a new tab. Click that, and as you can see, it looks a little bit different than what it looked like before. So this is a page. If we go back here, I'll close this. If we go back here and we change this to your most recent post and click save, you're going to see that it changes again to your most recent post. So if I click on refresh, you can see this is a blog post. The other way was a blog page. And then you can adjust the number of pages that show on a blog post, the number of blog posts that show on a page, and so on. And then click save. Oh, very important. Leave this unchecked. Search engine visibility. You want to be discovered in search engines, so you want to make sure that this is unchecked. Do not check this. Discussion. You can decide what gets filtered out, what gets moderated. Down here in media, you can adjust the thumbnail sizes, the size of the images, and post accordingly. Down here, permalinks. This is going to be important. Right now, the permalinks are set to this. So it looks like it's your domain name, followed by a category, and then page 1, 2, 3. If you want to be found for blogging, you want to change that to post name. So it would be your domain name, category if you have one, and then your post name. This is going to help with search engine optimization. All of these other ones will not. And so you want to make sure that you save that. You can leave the rest of this as is. And then privacy, you want to make sure that you have your privacy policy configured. Usually WordPress will do one for you. And so that is everything that you need to know to get started with a website. The only thing that I didn't cover is if you were writing a blog post is how to add in your affiliate links. So let me go back over here and I want to show you how to do that real quick. So we're going to go back up to posts. I'm going to click on all posts. So we're going to go back in here to this uncategorized post. And let's say you're an affiliate for Bluehost. We would just simply put, we could say something like click here for my #1 recommended web hosting platform. And then you're going to simply highlight this, click this link button, and then you grab your affiliate link from Bluehost. Make sure that you sign up as an affiliate and you just don't link to bluehost.com. Always open in a new tab so that they don't ever leave your website. If you don't open up in a new tab, when they click on the affiliate link, they are going to go to Bluehost and then that's it. So I'm just going to show you with AustinGodbolt, GODBOLT.com. And I'm going to click that. And then when I click on update, and then we're going to view the post here. Let's see. Let's go back here. We'll go back to alstinsworld.com, misspelled. As you can see here, it shows up as a link. It's in blue, whereas all of this is in black. When I click on this, it takes me over to alstingodbolt.com. But you can do this for any program that you're an affiliate for, and you can do that over and over again. I recommend that you send people to a landing page, but if you want to try and send people directly to an affiliate offer, that is how you do it. Now that you know how to set up a website as a complete beginner for affiliate marketing, I want you to click the first link in the description for my #1 recommended way to start a full-time income online. When you click that first link or go to alstongodbolt.com, you will be taken to a free training to show you how to get started step by step. Click the first link in the description or go to alstongodbolt.com/start. Watch these videos next to learn more tips and tricks to make money online with affiliate marketing. Also, check out my website, alstongodbolt.com, for even more tips, tricks, and tactics to make money online with affiliate marketing and internet entrepreneurship. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with 5 of your friends.